Ladies and gentlemen, Jill Conley.
Guys. First of all, I just want to say it's such an honor to be here, and so thank you for having me. So a little bit about the story, even though I know you guys just saw the documentary, but like it said is, you know, I met my husband in Las Vegas, and I was a bartender, and my husband, Bart, was sitting right there, moved out there, and when the economy hit, that's when we decided to move to Kentucky, because we had family here. So we lived here for about 3 months, and I had an inverted nipple, and I ignored it for so long, and probably ignored it for about a year. And I had a cat, and I always just thought that the cat probably scratched me, and it was nothing. I didn't feel any different. I didn't have lumps. So finally, after a year, my mother-in-law called me up, and she said, I hope you're not mad at me, but I made an appointment with my doctor, and your appointment is today at 3:30. And I was like, no, it's okay. And my husband's like, do you want me to go with you? And I was like, no, I'm going to be in and out. It's an infection. You know, we'll hit the road because we're going to go to Cincinnati because it was my birthday the next day, and we were going to go see Poison and Motley Crue. And so I go to the doctor, and he was like, I don't know how to tell you this, and I'm so sad that you're here by yourself. And I was like, what? And I went to stand up to grab my stuff, and he was like, you know, I'm 99.9, you have cancer. And I just looked at him, and I remembered my knees buckled to the ground, and I couldn't even stand up. And I was just staring at this stranger all alone, like, this is not happening to me. And it gets worse. So then I leave, and then, mind you, he's like, you don't have to pay for this visit. So that was cool of him. I was like, well, that's awesome, because I don't have insurance, because, of course, my insurance lapsed. It's another story. So I get in the car, and my mom calls me right away. My mom still lived in Las Vegas, and she's like, so what kind of cream do they give you for the cat? And I didn't even know what to say, and she's like, Jill? And I was like, Mom, it's so bad, it's so bad. And she's like, what? And I'm like, they're telling me that I have cancer, and it's a phone call you'll never forget. And she said that when she was at work, she had to have 2 other ladies, like, literally pull her from underneath her desk. She was crying so hard, and I just can't even imagine that. And so right from there, I met my angel, who I love more than Bart, is Dr. Janelle Seeger. That is, yes. And at first, I would not be standing up here if it was not for Dr. Seeger. And so right when she saw me, she's like, you know what? We got to get your chemo started right away. Like, it's spreading, and it's spreading fast. So that's why I had to do, like, such an intense round of chemo. And so I did 16 rounds, and then I did the radiation. And then the reason why the reason why I only have the one breast is because the radiation burnt such a hole in my left side that they had to remove it because I got such a horrible infection. And I was that case that if it was 2%, it would happen to me. You know, radiation, you have a 2%, you're going to break your ribs. I broke my ribs. And not only did I break my ribs, but I had to, you know, my husband called the ambulance because I couldn't get up to take me to the emergency room. And then, you know, from the emergency room, they take me to radiation, and then the next morning I wake up and I have double pink eye from the ambulance. So, anyways, I guess bad luck is better than no luck. So, anyways, that's just like, you know, a little bit of history of, you know, how, you know, I got to where I'm at now. So, I was in remission for about 1.5 years, and, excuse me. And I was on tamoxifen, and I was feeling good, and, you know, I had a great job. and I was a leasing agent at Camden Exmoor, and my buddy Justin came over to help me hang some curtains, and when he left, he hugged me, and when he walked out the door, I fell to the floor, and I was like, oh my God, he broke my ribs. And it was my niece's birthday party that weekend, and the whole entire weekend, you know, I was like, you guys, something's wrong, you know, I can't laugh, it hurts to sneeze. And, you know, my husband's like, go to the doctor, and I'm like, there's nothing you can do for a broken rib. Like, I'm not going to the doctor. I'm so over going to the doctor. Well, by Monday, I couldn't even get out of bed, so I was like, all right, I have to go. And then that's when they told me that, you know, it's, you know, stage 4, and it's incurable this time, and it was in my sternum. And that, when Dr. Seeger was telling me that, I was like just looking at her, and I was just so numb, and I was just like, really? Like, who gets cancer once at 32 and then gets it again? Like, this is so unfair. And I'm like, I've never done anything wrong. Like, my whole motto was, I'd feed your mouth before mine. Like, this is so unfair. And then I went into a depression when she told me that we could not have children. And that's all I wanted my whole entire life. And I knew my husband wanted children his whole entire life. And so I remember that car ride home, I just kept begging my husband. I was like, Bart, please, you're such a good man. I won't get mad at you. Like, please leave me. You know, you still have so much life in you. You could be a football coach and such a good dad. And he looks at me and he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, don't ever insult me again. Like, are you kidding me? And so, like I said, I went into a little rut for a couple weeks. And then finally I was like, you know what? This is obviously happening for a reason, and I'm supposed to be a voice. And my voice is to help others out there. So Nikki, my girlfriend, who's a photographer in Cincinnati, I was talking to her on the phone, and I said, hey, Nikki, why don't we do some pictures and send them into all the magazines so we can finally show what cancer looks like. They always talk about it, but they will never, ever show what it looks like. And she's like, oh my God, okay. So I fly out to Seattle, we do these pictures, and then she sends them to Sue Bryce, who, you know, was her mentor. And then that night, when I flew home, Nikki's like blowing my phone up, and, you know, I'm like, what? She's like, oh my God, Sue Bryce just called me. And I'm like, who? She's like, Sue Bryce. And I'm like, I don't know who Sue is. And, you know, but Nikki's in the photography business, so, you know. And so Sue contacted me and, you know, had me Skyped on that Creative Live show. And it was crazy. 2 weeks later, I'm whisked off to Paris, and we made this amazing documentary. And it's just so crazy that when it hit the internet, I never expected, like, I think it was 600,000 hits in a week. And it just exploded. And then, you know, here I'm at home, and then I get the first phone call, and it's like, is Jill Conley there? And I'm like, this is. He's like, this is Brian Cohen from the Today Show. And I'm like, Mandy, is that you? You know, and so the Today Show contacted me, and he's like, we want to fly you and your husband out, and Matt Lauer wants to do an exclusive interview with you. So I was like, oh my God, this is so insane. And so when we did the first Today Show, you know, the message I was sending out, I was like, you know, I just want women with or without cancer to feel, you know, confident in their body and feel beautiful and sexy. And, you know, I got a lot of negative emails, you know, from saying that, you know, because women were like, you know what, we don't all look like you. And I was like, I try to be as confident as possible, but, you know, they're not showing the pictures when I was bald, you know, going through chemo, you know, mouth sores, I had no fingernails, toenails, eyebrows, eyelashes, gained 35 pounds, like, you know, they weren't showing those pictures, but I'm just saying that, you know, the emails that I were getting were from people from all around the world. And I mean, it's not just men, or not just women, they were from men and people with cancer issues. And they asked me, they're like, out of all the emails, the thousands of emails that you got, like, what is one that just, like, hit home to you? And it was this girl that said that she was bullied her whole life in high school because she was so overweight, and she was going to kill herself. And she said, after watching you on the Today Show and watching your documentary and seeing your scars, It was the first time that I actually took my clothes off and looked in the mirror and said, "You are beautiful." And she was like, "Thank you so much for giving me my life today." And I was like, that is insane that people are actually, you know, their self-esteems are that bad that they would actually take their own life. So I'm not saying that I'm trying to be like God or like a lifesaver or something, but just if we can start like even educating with younger and younger and younger people, then maybe, you know, people won't stare, you know, or, I mean, I choose not to wear a prosthetic, like I said, because it's hot and it's heavy. I don't disagree with women that do. I just personally don't. And so after the Today Show, Victoria's Secret did call, and I'm like, I am not a Victoria's Secret model. Damn it. So they flew me and my husband out, and they gave us like this grand tour in Columbus, Ohio. And yeah, I thought it was going to be like New York or Italy, and we're like, when would you like to come to Columbus? And we live in Kentucky, and we flew. So it was awesome. I mean, they had a lot of valid points why they don't have prosthetics. You know, I mean, I threw everything out on the line, and, you know, they came back, and, I mean, I can't say enough about them. They're a wonderful company, and they do so many wonderful things for cancer. And, like, 2.5 weeks ago, me and Bart just got back because they flew us out to New York for the Victoria's Secret fashion show, which is being aired tonight. So that was real fun to go with my husband, too. Yeah. They looked like giraffes that have not eaten in weeks. Yeah. But anyways, so we ended up having a great time. And then, so in the month of October, it was, I decided to do a nonprofit called the Jill's Wish. And so I decided, you know, to travel and to do as many speaking events as possible. And the money that I would raise, then I would just turn around and give it to families that are going through cancer themselves. Children, men, women, you know, there's no age limit. And so it just started after the first Today Show, the calls were like just pouring in. So in October, I went to, sorry, I had to write these down because I will forget. I went to LA to do a calendar, and the calendar is out there on our table. It's called Love 12, and it's not actually my calendar. I'm the month of October, or no, August, but some of the proceeds go to Jill's Wish, and all the girls in the calendar are all cancer survivors, and they're all amazing women. So I did that project. Then I flew out to Philadelphia to do another project called Anna Ono, and her cards are out on the table, and she's actually in the process of doing a prosthetic line for bras and bathing suits, and they're absolutely amazing, and they actually do make you feel pretty sexy and cute, because most women know, like, the prosthetic, it's like a bulletproof vest, and it's not all of them, but most of them. And then we went to Denver to do the Pink Glove Dance, and hopefully next year I'll be doing the Pink Glove Dance for Norton's. Yeah, my doctor's like, why didn't you do it here? And I was like, because you didn't ask. So yeah, we did the Pink Glove, we didn't win. And then we went back to do the Brides for Breast Cancer, and that was awesome to see, but then unfortunately I got sick in Denver and ended up in the hospital. And then when I got back, me and my husband were invited to go to the Cayman Islands to go to a breast cancer gala, and then that's when I got to meet Hoda, and me and Hoda like completely, totally clicked. And I don't know if it was the vino or what, but we had so much fun together. So when we flew back from the Cayman Island, a couple days later, I get a call, and the lady's like, is Jill there? And I'm like, this is. And she's like, this is Carly from NBC. And I was like, shut up, Mandy. And again, and she's like, no, 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 it's really Carly from NBC. And she's like, oh my God, Hoda like won't stop talking about you, and she would like to have you back on the Today Show. So I was like, yeah, let me check my schedule. So we flew out to New York, and that was absolutely amazing to meet, to see, Hoda in her setting and meet Kathy Lee. And then they got us tickets to see Jimmy Fallon, and then got to like do the whole backstage pass of Saturday Night Live. It was so funny, but it's so funny though when you see like actors in real life, they all look so skinny and short. Yeah, it's really weird. So anyways, then we fly home, and then a couple days later is when the NBC called again, and they said, each producer at NBC has to pick somebody that has changed and inspired their life, and Hoda wants to pick you. And I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? And that was like the greatest honor like I've ever, it just left me speechless. Like, here this woman has interviewed, a bazillion people, and I'm just this girl with cancer. And she just, I asked her why, and she said that, when we were in the Cayman Island and, I pulled you on stage, you just said, I don't want people to forget about the men in the room, because, sometimes us women, we forget about the men, and they have to go through just as much pain as we do. And they get forgotten about during the way. And I just said, without my husband, I wouldn't be standing here, and he's been my rock. And like, I would die the happiest woman in the room. And I'm like, and Hoda loved that. So so that was awesome when I got that achievement award by her. So after that, we went to New Mexico, and then I went to go to educate younger children, like in 8th grade and stuff, because they're so uneducated. And like, I didn't realize that in New Mexico, most like Hispanic women will not get mammograms, and if they do find out that they have cancer, they will not do chemo, and it's a Hispanic culture. So I wanted to go to like all the 8th grade classes and talk to the girls and the guys to see if, maybe we can change it. So that was, that was interesting, especially the questions that these kids had. They were like, do you have the cure for cancer? And I was like, if I had the cure for cancer, I would be on a yacht with Jay-Z, and then, Jay-Z? Like, no. So we had such a great time, and in this little town, El Cruces, raised so much money in 1 week. It was unbelievable, and I was just so proud to be a part of it, And so then after that, we come home, and I unfortunately got sick, and about a week ago, no, it was like a week and a half ago, I knew something was wrong, so I demanded to get another PET scan, because I felt like, I felt like I cracked the left side of my rib, and the shortness of breath came back. So I, got the PET scan. Brenda Bowling, which is another one who is awesome, calls me, and she's like, listen, you got fluid in your left lung. Dr. Seeger's out of town. It was Thanksgiving week. But if it gets so bad, just go to the hospital. And I'm like, oh, I'll be fine. Well, by Saturday, me and my husband are in the emergency room. And then on Sunday, they're draining the fluid. And then on Monday, Dr. Seeger's calling me and telling me that they found cancer in the fluid. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So, it's just like, it's so hard, because before, it's like I knew, like, I knew I was going to die of cancer. And now I know I'm dying of cancer. But I just, looking at all you guys in the room, like when I was talking about all the emails that I get from people all around the world, I can't even tell you how many emails that I get from doctors and other hospitals, hey, we want to do a free like Bono, or I got this alternative medicine or this. Like, my 100% loyalty is at Norton's. And the way I look at, I tell Dr. Seeger that I love her, because I love her. And Brenda, like, I love them. And like, when I walk in and I see, Connie and all the nurses, and it's like, if you're there for 4 hours, I feel like I was there for an hour, and they've become family to me, and that's so important. And women that I have met that have gone through cancer, and they have gone through Norton's, I can't tell you how many women say the exact same thing. Oh my God, I love my doctor. Are the nurses not just unbelievable? I mean, that just goes such a long way because, yeah, I know it's hard for the doctors and lawyers. Like, we're looking at them like, please, like, save my life, And I know Dr. Seeger's going to try everything in her power. But I know that day is going to come where it's going to be out of her hands. But I can at least say that that woman fought just as hard as I did, And so you guys should give a round of applause for you guys for Norton's, because you guys rock. So anyways, where I'm at now, like I said, I just found this out, so when they tested it, it was in the lining of the lung. And then, so I start my new treatment. I was supposed to start it yesterday, but I actually canceled because I didn't want to feel like crap today. So I start tomorrow. And so we're going to try a brand new treatment and see, how that goes. And, I still got a lot of fight in me, but I just want to say, with the Jill's Wish, I'm just my heart and soul is in it. And, please, if you get a moment, you can go online. It's under jillswish.org. It's a write-off. It's nonprofit. And, just knowing that you're helping a family out there, because like I said, when I found out I had cancer and I had to lose my job, I mean, it's so tough. It's not even about the bills. It's just like the money adds up with medicine, and I didn't wear wigs, but like scarves, and I mean, it just totally adds up. And and also too, I'm not trying to be I hope I'm not boring you, but I just you only live once, and my life changed the moment I found out it's incurable, and this is my life changed. I never thought that at 36 years old, that I might not see my nieces graduate, and now I know I'm not. And I probably am not even, I hope I make 40, but I just go out of your way every day and be nice to everybody, because karma goes a long way. And I just, like I said, I'm just so happy to be alive, and I'm so happy to be in this room with all you amazing people, and just thank you for having me. I like that. Oh, the clicker? I forgot about the clicker. So if you want to learn.
January 29th.
Oh. Wait, what did you want me to say?
Remember, you're speaking January 29th at the Olmsted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Open to the public.
Okay, yeah.
Bring your friends.
Bring your friends. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. And then also, the 21st, we're having a Jill's Christmas or Jill's Wishmas in St. Matthews at Saints, and that'll be on the 21st. And then if you can go under my Jill's Wish, or I have three pages. I have Jill's Wish, Breast Friends, and Jill Conley. If you email me, I don't email you back right away. I'm super sorry. Yeah, but anyways, so if you just go under the jillswish.org, and then the other business that I started, and they're sold out, was the Jilly Beans Barking Bones. They were the dog treats, because during my ongoing fight, my dog Honey Bear was my sidekick. So, I was like, what can I do to, show Honey Bear how much I love her, and so I came up with Jilly Beans Barking Bones, a healthy treat for a woman's breast friend. Yeah. So you can order those online by just going to jillybeansbarkingbones.com, and also they're at Feeder Supply. But does anybody have any questions or anything? No? Well, thank you guys again so much, and I hope I didn't ramble too much. Thanks.